In the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears selected Caleb Williams number 1 overall, which was expected, and they lucked up and got Odunze at number 9 there without having to trade up or down. We're now going to talk about on today's episode the expectations and how high-powered this new offense could be, and also look at some of the best prospects that could be available on day 2 for the Chicago Bears. All that plus a mailbag right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the show at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content. And the Bears really set their offense off to a great place yesterday, drafting both Caleb Williams and Odunze, even adding Rome to already solid and what could have been one of the best wide receiver cores that the Chicago Bears have ever seen with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. You now add Odunze there, who's going to be able to grow with Caleb Williams, and it's going to be a fun offense to watch, theoretically on paper. And when you look at this offense, the thing that's going to matter the most in this offense is how Shane Waldron adapts. Him and Caleb Williams adapt to each other over the course of this first NFL season. The Bears have done everything to set up Caleb Williams to have a great rookie year, coming into one of the best group of weapons that any first overall quarterback pick has ever had in the history of the NFL. I truly believe that. And so now looking at the Chicago Bears and how their depth chart expects to shape up, you're going to have 3 wide receivers that could be number ones on most rosters on there for you for day one. You got Caleb Williams now as your starting QB. We know that for sure. You got DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson there as your running back core. Wide receivers, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Odunze as your 1, 2, and 3, with still Tyler Scott there with another wide receiver that they still see some promise in, who has some quickness there. Velus Jones, we'll see if Velus, if they maybe move him to more of a running back position, things like that. Tight end, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, amazing there, right? And then, of course, you got some questions around how that offensive line, I personally look at it and say it's more about health to me with the offensive line. I do think that this offensive line can produce. When you look at Braxton as the starting left tackle, Tevin Jenkins as the starting left guard, it comes down to health with Tevin. Can Tevin stay healthy enough? And Braxton, who some of the thought process, I think it's gone a little bit too on both sides for him. He's solid, right? But hasn't really developed or progressed in a way that a lot of us thought he could after his rookie year. You got Coleman Shelton probably going to be starting there at the center position for you, with Nate Davis and Darnell Wright as your right guards and right tackles respectively. With, again, we got depth pieces all up and down that. Doug Kramer, Ryan Bates, Larry Borum, J. Tyree Carter, Jake Curran as your depth pieces behind those guys on that offensive line. So while it's not by any stretch of the imagination a star-studded offensive line or anything like that, if they are able to stay healthy, I think they're going to be able to perform well enough. And then you got Shane Waldron and how him and Caleb. Shane Waldron, who showed the ability to adapt his offense over years with Seattle. When you look at that offense and how they ran the ball more and more as the years went on, you now have what many people are calling probably the most weapon-laden offensive talent group that the Chicago Bears have ever had in our history. When you look at the Bears' history and how many running backs are top in receiving yards all time for the Chicago Bears, the fact that the Bears also have not had a quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns in our history, this could be the offense that starts to shape that, to change that narrative. Now, I'm not saying that those expectations are necessary. Well, the expectations are going to be there regardless, right? I'm not saying they're necessarily going to hit those expectations in year one, but I love the way that this has been. It's now crafted as a perfect development opportunity for both Caleb Williams and Rome. Rome is not going to get a whole hell of a lot of targets, right, with those other two guys, but he's going to be put in the right position. And the fact that he's not going to be looked at to do a heavy workload right away, it's going to probably be good for him to understand, grow his game, things like that. And it also can help Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Keenan Allen, who's had some injury concerns over the latter part of his career, maybe you can keep him fresher in those cases. And DJ Moore, who was the wideout that really kept that passing game respectable, now he's going to have a completely different mindset. So, and how Shane Waldron adjusts to what Caleb Williams, how he finds what Caleb Williams adapts to the best. Is he going to be under center more? Do you end up finding out that, okay, he can run under center, but maybe we need to run more opportunities for him to not be under center, get a little bit creative there. I don't think you're going to see design QB runs. I don't want to act like you're not. But again, Caleb Williams, why he can get creative with his feet, isn't going to be as reliant on his running ability, right? He's going to be more creative with those feet when the pocket breaks down, rather than that be like a part of his game you're looking to really double down on. And then the running back core that you have there with Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roschon, all very good, have different kind of skill sets, right? DeAndre Swift's your dual threat coming out of that running back room. You know, there are some concerns, which I've talked about before on the show, that people have on, well, how much of it do we look at the offensive line that the Eagles had and say, hey, maybe Swift was a beneficiary of that? But we'll see that early on. Khalil Herbert, who we know when he's healthy can be very damn well productive, and Roschon Johnson, who showed some promise last year, right? So all those things are going to factor in, but this is, I think, going to be one of the best offenses that we've ever seen. Now, it may not all come together perfectly in the entirety of year one. You don't want to see that develop, of course, over time. And as the season goes on, these guys progress, right? Even if it starts off maybe not as fluid as we hope to be at the end of the season. But this could be very well the best offensive group that we've had for the Chicago Bears. And eventually the goal is to get top 10 in offense and top 10 in defense. And so with the draft last night, that's what Ryan Poles did. He helped fix a lot of what was wrong and kept going what we needed on that offensive side of the ball. What's that going to bring in day two? Well, we'll talk about that here in a second, but I want to hear from you guys on this down below. How do you feel about the Chicago Bears offense on paper right now? What are some of the biggest flaws that you see, some of the bigger sticking points? What are some of the biggest positives you see about this offense heading into the 2024 season? And what are you most excited about? Is it the growth of Caleb Williams, seeing him grow into that? Is it seeing this wide receiver core and how defenses are going to stop and adjust to that? We're focusing specifically on the offense today. We'll be doing, as we get closer to training camp, things like that, looking at the offense and defense. But with the draft picks last night, really kind of wanted to focus on the offense with this. Let me know what you guys think on that down below. Now, with that said, we're heading into day two of the draft, and this is a day two where there's still a lot of really good prospects on the board potentially for the Chicago Bears. When you look at 23 of the first 32 draft picks were offense, so there's some really good defensive players in day two of this draft, and also some good offensive players. You look at Jackson Powers Johnson, a player that the Bears did bring in on a top 30 visit, is probably the best available for what the Bears need. Is not a whole lot of edges that you expect to go high in the second round. There are some good edges, which we'll talk about. But Jackson Powers Johnson, if the Bears do trade into the second round, which we won't pick until later into the third round, but if the Bears are able to get Jackson Powers Johnson, shore up that center position, you at that point have basically taken care of your offense, right? Yeah, you want some more depth at tackle. Eventually, maybe you wait to look at that till next year. But if the Bears are to trade into the second round, which I don't expect JPJ to go past that second round, maybe the Bears are willing to trade their own second round pick, one of the second round picks from next year to get into this draft. Jackson Powers Johnson is somebody who can start for you day one at that center position. And I think the Bears could definitely use him. Another one that's worth trading up for, Jer'Zhan Newton. Now, this is a guy that I have talked a lot about here from Illinois. That 3-tech, we know how important that is for Matt Eberflus's defensive system. While we didn't address the edge in this draft as of yet, I've said before, I think DeMarcus Walker is a lot more capable than what some Bears fans are giving him credit for, especially now having Montez Sweat on the opposite side of him for a full season. You add that 3-tech that's important to the system that Matt Eberflus likes, because the 3-tech, the defensive tackles, has a better ability to get to the quarterback. I think that and the pressure from that could make DeMarcus Walker even better. And Jer'Zhan Newton is definitely somebody that you can look at, definitely comes in and competes for the starting defensive tackle position right there with Javon Dexter, and it depends on how they view that. Then also outside of that, now this is probably not going to go as high, Adisa Isaac, the defensive edge out of Penn State. His partner, Chop Robinson, went earlier in this draft, but Adisa Isaac is one that I really love in this draft a lot as far as like for a position of need for the Chicago Bears. And then also Cooper DeJean. The reason now he's a great prospect. We know that our secondary is kind of set, so I wouldn't expect to trade in for a player in a position that we're already set in. But he's another one to really look out for that I think could really turn out really great and be a value pick in that second round or on day two. And then also Tyler Nubin as well is another one that kind of stands out in day two. That at safety, we know that the Bears did get Kevin Byard, but maybe they want to take a look at trying to get and start grooming their next safety as well. So there's a lot of players that make a lot of sense for the Chicago Bears here. Jer'Zhan Newton, Jackson Powers Johnson are the ones that make the most sense. We already know that Ryan Poles has said he's content with the 4 picks. So if he doesn't trade into that, it means that he's definitely content. But those are the two that I'm looking at for the most. No need to move up for wide receiver. No need to move up for cornerback. Like I said, edge, to me, if you do address the 3 tech in a meaningful way, it may mean that you don't have to address that edge quite yet. I think Walker's fine kind of patrolling that for now. But Adisa Isaac is there as well, who's definitely worth moving up for. And maybe Chris Broswell is also is another edge in this draft as well. So, the Bears have some things that they could look to do. And if they really are making a go for it this season, right, using those draft picks, that round 2 draft pick that is actually the Colts draft pick, to get into that would be, I'm sorry, not the Colts. I say the Colts. The Panthers pick, that would be really big for the Chicago Bears, I think, if they see the talent here, that the players that they really want to go after. So let me know what you guys think on that down below, as always. But it's Friday, so that means it's mailbag day. Let's get into these voicemails. This one's from Booker.
Yo, Haize, what's good, man? This book, blessings to you and yours. Man, what a night. Hell of a night, man. Ryan Poles, man, did a good job, man, and stuck to his word, man. People need to realize and start listening to this man. When he say he gonna do something, he do it. So I'm happy with the picks. And I just thought about something. I was listening to something, and I heard somebody say that, and this is kind of weird to me, that the Caleb Williams comparison is more Aaron Rodgers than it is Patrick Mahomes, with a little Patrick Mahomes in there, but more Aaron Rodgers. And that Odunze, I'm sorry, I don't know how you pronounce it, the correct pronunciation, is his comparison is to Davante Adams. Kind of weird, man. That's crazy if that ends up being true. Our own version of what killed us for years. Well, now we'll be able to unleash that on the NFL under the Chicago Bear regime, man. So I'm really happy with the picks. I'm really happy with the direction of the team. And kudos to Poles, man, for the time that he's turned this team around. Now just all gotta, they just gotta get on the field and, make it happen, which I actually have a better feeling that they will, man. I mean, they're gonna have rookie mistakes and rookie up and downs, man. But I feel overall that this team is on an upward trajectory. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Again, blessings to you and yours. Also, good job on Nomad, man. Nomad is a good dude, man. I'm glad y'all clicked up, man. But Chicago up, Bear down, and it begins.
Listen, I get the comps, the Aaron Rodgers, the Davante Adams comps, for sure. Somebody said that on the live stream yesterday. I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. But I think more than the comps, it's the talent that you got here. Whatever they turn into, I want them to turn into the best versions of them. You got great players that have high upsides here that are going to completely transform, hopefully, this Chicago Bears offense for years and years to come. To be able to pair your quarterback with a wide receiver that talked about wanting to play with him, and Caleb has also talked about him, they have that chemistry already. And I think that, adding that to the veterans that we have here can do wonders for the Chicago Bears. This is going to be an age of Chicago Bears offense. And make no mistake, the defense isn't being ignored, right? To have a team that can do that, and as it develops, that's where the expectations come in. What Ryan Poles did here in round 1 with getting these 2 guys and the quality that he was able to get, keep in mind, Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, according to NFL.com, were the first and third best prospects in this draft. So you were able to walk away with the number 1 and number 3, according to NFL.com. Doesn't mean it's going to work out that way. That's great value that you're able to get from that. And Ryan Poles does it again, man. And I don't understand how people still continue to doubt Ryan Poles. I get it, what they want, and talked about the picks, and we need more picks. But just look at the talent he was able to get. 2 absolute blue chippers. Come on, man. You could do a lot worse than that. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from Jay Capone.
What's up, Chicago Bears Central? It's your boy, Jay Capone, a.k.a. Wheelchair John Morant, a.k.a. Mr. Bryson Tiller on the mic, on wheels. But anyway, man, it's up there and it's stuck there for Chicago, bro. We got Caleb and we got Rome motherfucking Odunze, you feel me? Hey, all I'm gonna say is, like I said, I'm open to Caleb Williams, but he gotta show me. He gotta prove to me that he can be this Aaron Rodgers and take us to the promised land and all that. But shit, hey, we got Roma Doomsday. Our receiving core finna be lit as fuck, man. We talking about the Holy Trinity, the Father, Keenan, the Son, Rome, and the Holy Spirit, DJ Moore. Man, hey, Pose, you did your shit, man. You did your shit. Congratulations, man. Now you got just put on the field. You feel me? You gave us the fruit of the labor. So we gotta just put it together. But man, it's gonna be scary for Chicago, man. Motherfuckers ain't gonna want to play us football wise or win basketball wise. But man, hey, it's a great time to be a Chicago Bears fan, man. Hey, I'm excited about what they can pick next. I hope they get to Bondre Sweat, man. And hey, go ahead and get Brendan Rice for the Lolo. Alright, but man, like I said, Ryan Post, congratulations, man. Hey, Caleb, you ain't got no more excuses, man. Produce 10 wins or failure. 10 plus wins or failure, man. Other than that, man, Chicago up and bear motherfucking down. Cause it's been, man, 30-point game averaging team, man. All right, y'all. Peace.
Listen, Caleb needing to prove it. Absolutely, bro. Abso-freaking-lutely. Like I said, he talks, and that's cool as long as you can back it up on the football field. And like I've said for a couple of days now, and I want to see how he does adjust and how he holds himself accountable when he has a bad game, because those bad games are coming. Now, as far as the wide receiver core, brother, I am so excited to see this wide receiver core. Listen, I'm excited to play Madden with this. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm like, for years, I've still beat people with the Chicago Bears, but we've been rough on offense. I can't wait to play Madden. I'm not even going to front on you. Now, outside of that, that's a personal thing. Outside of that, I'm just excited to see how this works out on the football field and having Shane Waldron, right? Because make no mistake about it, if we still had Luke Getsy as offensive coordinator, I'd still be excited about the pieces, but having Shane Waldron there and a guy who really builds his system per the talent on the team, that's what I'm really excited. All this coming together, new quarterback, new OC, tons of new weapons all up and down that offense. Hopefully a healthy offensive line as well. I am really excited about the prospect of what we have and what we're building here in Chicago on that offensive side of the ball. And let's hope that that's going to come to fruition. Let's hope that that's – the thing is, like I said, I root for everybody who wears the Bears uniform. Everybody. I want to see them hit the heights of any potential or anything else that they have. And I hope that Rome Odunze and I hope that Caleb Williams breaks every receiving and passing records that we have here in Chicago. I hope that this is a duo that we look back 6-8 years from now and we like, damn, we got these guys in the same draft. That's what I hope happens here. And I hope that in that time we're winning football games, we're winning the division, we're winning the conference at times, and we could get to the Super Bowl. I hope that that's the case. And Ryan Poles has done a great job at setting the foundation for that. And let's see how these players take advantage of it and how Ryan Poles continues to tinker with it, because you're going to need continued development. You don't want to stay stagnant, and that's going to be an important part of this as well, Jay. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from Donovan.
What's going on, Haize? What's going on, team? It's your boy Donovan, man. Hey, just add me to the list of the calls y'all finna receive. We got him, man. Caleb Williams was a gimme. The real toss-up, what was we gonna do with that ninth pick? We got Rome Odunze, man. That's crazy. The Chargers going O-line, the Giants taking Neighbors. Because Neighbors was good, but I wanted Odunze, and we got him. Something got to be rigged, but I'm just glad we got Romo fucking Doomsday, man. Two top five players in this draft is on our team. That's crazy. This is what I meant by quality over quantity. Romo Doomsday, this is a haul. Romo Doomsday and Caleb Williams, come on now, man. Come on now. If I knew this was going to happen, I wouldn't have gave a fuck if we traded Fields or not. Because if we kept Fields, we'd have got Maserati Mars. And so you sitting there, you get Romo Doomsday and Caleb Williams, bro. Come on now, man. And then the offense, the defense we already got, man. And then we still got some 2 picks. And then look at all the players that failed. The way this draft went was crazy. All of the players that failed, we got to beef up that D-line, man. I feel like that D-line is next. Either D-line or O-line. Jackson Powers-Johnson is still on the board. Craziness. I don't think he's going to fall to us, though. But you got Cedric Franfran. All the motherfuckers like, come on, man. Come on, man. I don't look, man. I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless. I did not know we was going to get wrong. Like, all of my drafts and shit kept saying we was going to get wrong. Nigga, I kept screaming, Rome is not going to make it tonight. That's why I'm like, something got to be rigged. Ain't no fucking way. See, I thought the Chargers were going to take him, bro. They traded all their receivers. I thought the Chargers were going to take him, bro. I thank God for Joe Alt. That's all I'm going to say. I thank God for Joe Alt. We got Rome, man. We got Rome, Caleb, and the whole other part of the team, man. The NFC North is going to be crazy. And I'm just glad we got what we got. Now, like Bobby say, we got to put this shit on wax, man. We got to put this shit on wax. Chicago up and better fuck down, man.
Listen, you may have just titled this episode, Rome and Caleb and Rome are the Hall. That is absolute facts, right? And I agree with you. When we talked about the potential of trading down, and Brandon L. Jett, even in the comment section yesterday, left that like he still thinks about it. And it's natural to still think about, hey, what's that haul you could have got if you traded the number 1 overall pick? But listen, the potential of these guys, that's a haul. If they end up hitting that, that's a haul. So, the haul that these guys can turn into, man, are great, right? Like I said in the last voicemail, we could seriously be looking back at this 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road, a decade from now, and just saying, damn that talent. Damn the talent. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have a Super Bowl title in that time. You need to do some other things, but the talent that we got here, the way that it shapes up to develop and can grow together, that's going to be crazy, bro. And I'm super excited about this new phase of Chicago Bears football, and the defense ain't no slouch either. I still want to see Ryan Poles do some things on the defense, address it in a little ways, whether it's a 3-tech or an edge in this draft. We'll see what he has planned, but this is huge. This is great. This is fun. And I love to see the path that we're on as Chicago Bears fans. And hopefully everyone's along with that ride as well. All right, let's get into the last voicemail for today. This one's for Ryan.
Hey, hi, Cognac boys. This is Ryan from Mississippi. New to you guys' podcast over the last couple months. Hey, the draft is coming up, man. I'm very happy with taking Caleb, and I see that Odunze was there with him doing the workout with a couple of our veteran wide receivers. Man, but one of the things that I was really interested that you guys kept commenting on was the defensive end out of Florida State. I guess his name's Verse, man. I'm really not sold on that guy. I think he's going to be a decent player, but I really don't look at him as a first round pick. And if you do your research and check, most of the guys that have come out of Florida State over the last 10, 15 years or better that were generally first round picks haven't turned out to be that good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Man, I appreciate you guys' podcast, man. Give me your feedback on what you think. Bear down.
All right, so, this was clearly left before the draft. The other voicemails were left after the draft, but I still wanted to play this voicemail. And here's what I'll say on that, brother, is that, listen, the way that this draft shook out, right, with the way that the defensive players shook out in this draft, I don't really think anybody had that going. To the fact that a defensive player wasn't taken until pick 15, and then you had him, Dallas Turner, Byron Murphy, who I would have loved in the Bears uniform, Jared Verse, all go kind of within picks of each other. I mean, it was great to see, but listen, Jared Verse, I get the doubt around him, and you're not the only one to share that doubt. Eco Bean, who is a consistent commenter here, who has a great football mind as well. Shout out to Eco Bean on that. He talked about some of the flaws of Jared Verse as well, and they are there. So I understand the doubt around it. But I personally think that Jared Verse is still a great talent. Personally, I mean, he's not going to be here now. We know that, so it is what it is there. But Jajon Newton, I hope that the Bears can walk away from in this draft, because I think that guy has great talent as well. But guys, thank you so much for leaving those voicemails. We appreciate you guys so much, especially the turnout that we had. We had almost 1,000 people live in the draft stream last night. So make sure you guys stay tuned in for that. I love you guys, man, so much. Follow the show at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.